this is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. Now, let me tell you something. I was just filming and talking and talking and talking. And guess what? The video was unlisted, which means that you can't see it unless I send you an invite. So it's a good thing that I didn't plan anything because I'm going to restart. I need a remix, remix, remix. Trying to get these seeds back in the packet, but this is not working out for me. I'm going to put these 3 in. Just have to remember that they're right there. So if you don't know me, this is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. And I am a gardener. I am somewhat of a homesteader, somewhat of a farmer. I do a little bit of everything, but all of it has to do with gardening and growing my own livestock. So right now I am going to pull myself up. I'm not a professional, guys. I'm just a backyard or somewhat of a backyard gardener. Hello, Miss T with the T. Hello, God's desire for me. Welcome. How you doing? So, if you don't know, I said I'm a gardener, right? And it's summer, right? And as gardeners, we have to start early. Gardeners are planners, believe it or not. And I have another video on that. I'm not going to get much into it, but gardeners have to plan. Gardeners have to go ahead and do things ahead of time. Not only do we have to take care of the stuff out there, but we have to start new stuff in here in order to keep up with the seasons. So that's what this thing is about. Now I have a bowl down here, and I'm gonna say hi to everybody in a little while. And I call this the bowl of hopes and dreams. So far, most of this stuff is done. When I planted, and I lost some of it. When I planted, let me put this up here because this bowl is glass. I clip them together. And I've clipped together quite a few. Now, I'm not going to say that everything I plant germinates, because I had to pull these jokers back in yesterday or last night. You see the vermiculite on here, the little white spots on here? If you can't, I'll show you in a minute, or just take my word for it. I put them outside to harden off, and some of my chicks got out, and they were on top of the table. Do you know those chicks got up on the table and ate them? That's what happens. Sometimes that's what happens to us. We plan, and then something comes along and just gobbles up everything, all of our work. So once I in this bowl, you can see I clip them together, right? Once I plant something, I don't want to plant and have a million plants of the same thing. So I'm trying to keep organized, even though my little clippy thing is not working correctly today. So that I don't plant the same thing over and over again and have a bunch of beets or a bunch of turnips and beets I just throw out there, by the way. Or broccoli or cauliflower or collards, or I want to have the variety that I want. So I clip them together, even though they ain't staying together. They trying to do what they want to do. I went through a couple of weeks ago and I did it on camera, and I separated out the things that I wanted and the things I didn't want. And I don't have very much left. So I have spinach that is being stratified. Here in Texas, I have to put it in the refrigerator because if this spinach, and nobody tells you this, if this spinach does not get a cold spell, it ain't gonna come up. Now, some of y'all live up north and y'all could put it directly out there, but that is not gonna work for me. I also have some onions in here. I don't know if they gonna grow because I have onions right there in that tray and nothing, not a thing. Blue vervain, I don't know if I could grow that. I have lettuce. Most of it says lettuce. My collards already there, and my spinach. And my Romanesco is already planted, so I don't know why that was floating around. So I have very little left. And some of the stuff that's left is lettuce. So today I wanted to plant 3 other things because most of that stuff is stuff that I'm just going to put out, and it's going to be winter, fall and winter stuff, and it doesn't take very long for it to come up. So today I picked out 3 things: the collards, And these are champion collards, and I have had these seeds for a while, so germination might not be that great. Then I have, y'all call them cow peas. My family calls them black-eyed peas. I don't know, maybe it's a northern thing, maybe it's a Jamaican thing, but it's the same pea. Black-eyed peas, cow peas are exactly the same. And some people say, just put them outside Jamerica, just put it straight in the ground. If me in this yard put it in the ground, it's gonna get ate. Either the bug's gonna eat it, or one of them chickens that robbed me the other day. You know, look at this. Look at it. Look at that. They ate off. I was so mad. I caught her in the act. Anyway, or the chicken is gonna get it. So I gotta be very careful with myself. I also have a problem in the greenhouse. Now I built that greenhouse so that I didn't put stuff on this table. Well, something is in the greenhouse yamming down all of my things, especially the vegetables. So until I get that under control, I can't put them out there. Can't put them out there. As a matter of fact, whatever it is out there and it's eating the hot pepper leaves. All I found in there was a stem, but that's a story that I need to leave alone. So, Miss T with the T, Ann Dream, how you doing? Shay Urban Edibles, how you doing? Official Jamia, how you doing? So, there's quite a few of us in here, and I appreciate all of you all being here. Because we need to support each other, because this thing ain't easy. Y'all know that, right? Especially, it's disheartening when something gets ate down, but that's why I start early. That's why everybody should start early planting their stuff, because things happen. And if you wait till the last minute and you have a catastrophe where something comes in and eats all your stuff, well, you may not have time to recover, because winter will be here before you know it. Here we are in the middle of August. You remember, oh gosh, it was just winter just a minute ago. I can't really complain because I'm in Texas. I'm on the cusp of 8B, 9A. So winter for me, so they say, is at the end of November. However, I feel like winter don't start till Christmas. The cold doesn't start till Christmas. So the first thing I'm going to plant is my champion collards. And years ago, I was saying I'll never buy vermiculite. I'm never going to buy any cocoa core and all that stuff. And man, you struggle to keep your stuff hydrated if you don't buy that. So I've given in. I've even went out and bought pods. Now what I do, because this is nice, right? These little pods, they're nice. But shoot, them jokers dry out quick. When you plant in something like this, and it's a 4-inch pot, it holds the water for a little bit longer. It just does. So it takes more to water it, but it holds on to the water. So the first thing we're going to plant is our champion collards, right? And these seeds are old. I think it's 2000. What's the year on this? 2021. The longer you keep your seeds, the lower the germination rate. So I'm going to sprinkle some in here. And I've already planted tree collards. Tree collards are perennials. And I still have tree collards out there. But guess what? I'm not planting all these seeds, by the way. The bugs and the birds have been eating my tree collards down. I'll be so glad when it gets cool so the bug pressure will be reduced, because they are out there. So our tree collards are planted. And I'm taking all these big old logs, because this is not potting soil. Yeah, I'm still a cheapskate. I still hold on. I still don't buy potting soil. And I throw all the logs on there because that's what they are to these seeds, logs. Move the soil around a little bit. Get my chopstick. Move the soil around a little bit. As a gardener, you have to learn patience. And you have to learn planning. And you have to learn how to recover. When a plant passes away on me, it's like an animal passed away on me. I'm really sad about it. Really sad about it. Because it's a living thing. We have to respect that. Real Kitchen Garden Diva, how you doing? So I'm going to take some of this and I'll put it on top. and I'll water it in. These have already been watered once, but I'm gonna water it in again. Do a nice coating on here. Spread it out. I remember as a kid, we used to put this into we would plant in peat moss and perlite. No, peat moss. Yeah, peat moss and perlite. So here we are. Wasn't real soil that we were planting our seedlings in. The seed, just like an egg yolk, the seed already has has food in it, but it needs more food to go. Just like a chick. A chick has the egg sac, the yolk that feeds the chick. So do these plants. They have food in the seed, but then they run out. So these are black-eyed peas or cowpeas, depending on where you come from. And I am going to plant a whole bunch of them because I've planted. Oh, by the way, these. I didn't buy these. These came from, and I have 2 little bags here. These came from my plants, I think last year. I was like, I ain't buying these no more. I'm gonna let these peas dry out. I didn't get very many of them. So I was like, shoot, what I do get is gonna go right back in there. From what I hear, not what I hear, what I know, because I did it with okra, they grow better. So I am gonna put a whole bunch of them. Now, there's some people who are gonna ask, well, Jamerica, these are black-eyed peas, or I keep on calling black-eyed peas, cowpeas. Why don't you should direct sow them. Did I tell you I had a bug problem and a bird problem? Digging up stuff, or they don't even come out the ground. Or if they do come out the ground, someone gets it when it comes out the ground. So to give my seeds a fighting chance, I start them inside. Being in a tray outside apparently doesn't work either. There was a time where I could leave them outside on the table and it'd be okay. Not anymore. Not anymore. The animals know where they are. They'll go up on top of the table, or the insects know where they are, and they will go up on top of the table and eat them. The only way I can see that they won't be affected is if you put something in there to mask the smell. I was out there in the garden a couple of weeks ago and I had on a tank top, right? And someone was like, Jamerica, how you gonna be out there and the mosquitoes not bothering you? I forgot what I had on. In order to mask the carbon monoxide coming from my body, I rub essential oil, lavender oil, all over my skin and into my hair. They couldn't smell me. That's how I did it. I didn't get not one mosquito bite out there. I smelled like lavender though. And if you hate lavender, well, maybe you could find something else. There are certain herbs that you can put around your plants that are going to mask the smell. That's what you want. Something strong where they can't smell it. But one of them for me in this yard, because not every yard is the same. Not every ecosystem is the same. For my bug population, mine is basil. Onions don't work. Garlic don't work. Dill definitely don't work. Dill will bring the bugs. But basil, they don't smell nothing but that basil. Let me see what everybody else is saying. Official Jamia, the harlequin bugs ate my tree collars because I didn't know it was an enemy. I have them too. Shea urban edibles. Cedar wood essential oil works good for mosquitoes. And you know what I also heard? I can't verify this. Vanilla extract. One of my friends told me, girl, rub yourself down with some vanilla extract. Mosquitoes ain't gonna come near you. All they gonna smell is vanilla. And I was like, yeah, but won't it bring bees? Other bugs? Because some of these home remedies will get rid of one problem and give you another. Y'all see I'm putting a bunch of seeds in here because I told you these black-eyed peas, cowpeas, they don't put out a lot. Not for me anyway. I'm gonna fertilize the heck out of these jokers. Give me 2 more. I'm gonna fertilize them. I have a pack of kale here, dwarf blue curly kale. I don't eat kale. I know it's good for me. I don't like kale, but my chickens do. Actually, they don't even like it. I might not plant that. Or if I do, I'll plant it last. These black eyed peas are more important to me than this kale. It's not gonna get planted. Y'all see me going through the motions? We put these collards right here so I know that that's what that is. So I'm gonna cover these up and I'm plant some more black eyed peas there. I just made an executive decision right here on camera. Shay's Edibles said, oh, official Jamia said, good to know. And Shay's Urban Edibles said, I have to try that. Yeah, because if you're like me, my skin looks like somebody done bust me. It look like it just swells up bad. Bad. Now, after I get bit, first of all, don't touch it. Don't mosquitoes. Let's talk about mosquitoes because we as gardeners have to, and that's one of the worst bugs out there. You know, it's bad enough that they're eating our plants, not the mosquitoes or other bugs. But then when they attack you when you go out there, it just makes you miserable and not want to go out there. What was I going to say? So after I get bit, don't scratch it. Go in, and this works because I've done it. Get some tea tree oil, the real kind. Not that stuff they sell for our hair, because that ain't the right one. That one's too diluted. You need to get the extract. Put that on there. Do not itch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it, because then it ain't gonna work. And put the tea tree oil in. I guarantee in about 5 minutes, you won't know it's there and it'll disappear. That's after you get bit. Or you could buy that thing that just sucks. It's like a suction cup and it sucks it out. But then you're a big old thing that look like a ringworm on your arm. So that's not appealing. I could show you my extracts in just a minute because I'm almost done planting. Because all of these right here are going to be cowpeas. Because that's what I want. This. Black eyed peas. Shaquila Jerry. How you doing? Welcome. So I'm put another bunch of cowpeas from my yard. If you grow your own seeds, they're going to grow better. And you ain't going to spend no money on them. And then you can plant as many as you want. Because you're going to have a million. If you've grown for at least 2 years, you're going to realize that the seed company is making a bank on some of us. They're making big bank on some of us. Now, there's some seeds that are going to be hard to get. Like my cauliflower. I tried to keep that joker around until it's seeded. But it just didn't work out for me. Some seeds are going to be harder to come by. Other seeds are real easy. I was watching this one younger guy. I guess he's not that young, but he told everybody, if you want bell peppers, you ain't got to buy no seeds. Just go to the supermarket and you're going to have at least 50 or 100. He said, you know, from one plant, from one bell pepper, 1,000 seeds, but that's not necessarily true. But there are about 20, 50 seeds in there that you could eat the bell pepper and plant the plant. So I said to myself, I don't think it'll grow. They do. He didn't tell a fable. Because I thought that maybe because those things are hybrid plants, because you see the coat on there is not a natural, you know, it's not a regular plant that they sell you. Well, they'll grow. They grow. I don't know if they produce, but them jokers look better than any bell pepper plant I grew from one of them seed companies. Them jokers are green and lush. It might have been the soil. I don't think so, though. I'll let y'all know if I get any fruit from it. Because I got about 20 of them. Well, less than that, because some of the bugs in the greenhouse ate some. So here are our black eyed peas. Planted. Put some of this on here. Once you get your seeds in, remember they need to be wet. Sometimes I soak my peas before I plant them so that they can get a head start. But today I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it this way. So then you go ahead and water it. You know what? I'm put it in this tray. I have another tray here because I've been planting. I've been planting. I've been planting. All right. Let me put this. I don't want to knock stuff down. And I'll get my marker later. So I don't know if I have any markers here. Let me see. Do you have a marker, girl? I have my pen here. No, I don't have any more markers. It's okay. I'll just keep that pack on top of there. I know these are black-eyed peas. And these are already marked. I have another tray here. So what I'm doing is I'm transferring these over into another tray. And then I'll water them. And then I'll mark them later. I told you all about the essential oil. I didn't forget. And you don't have to buy the brand that I buy. I just go on the Amazing store and I go ahead and order the real stuff. Not the stuff that they sell most of the time. You gotta pick your pleasure or pick your essential oils carefully, because you go to the supermarket, there's certain things you could buy at this big box store that are cheaper than online. And then there's stuff that's online that's way cheaper than the stuff at the store. So I go to both. I check out who's cheaper and who has the real stuff. Because the real stuff works, and the stuff, some of the stuff that they're selling that's saying that it's a particular herb extract is not. It's mixed with other stuff. Well, all of them may be mixed with other stuff, but these work. Why'd I do that? Now I don't know which one is which. I have to look back at the video and find out which one is the collars. I think that's it. So we got all our stuff planted, right? Let me go to the chat. How you doing, David Corey with the crop? So I was telling you all about, as a gardener, we need to take care of our garden and plant herbs next to our plants to save them from the bugs, to save ourselves from the bugs, because I told you I can't put this directly in the yard. I could, but it's going to get ate down. There's certain plants that they don't like, though. Like if I plant Swiss chard out there, they ain't going to touch it. They don't like Swiss chard. I don't know why. Maybe that's not a good sign, because Swiss chard does not get eaten down, ever. It passes away on its own. But certain things you plant out there, like if I went out there and planted these kales directly, these kale seeds directly, they wouldn't make it. Collard greens, they wouldn't make it. The bugs are just going to eat them down, which is why I plant inside in these pots. Now you might ask, why are you planting in this versus, let me move this over. I only have so much room. Why are you planting in this versus planting in these cells? I like them, but I don't like them. These are sweet onions, and I don't know if they're gonna come up. I'm still waiting. I'm still standing. Yeah. Still waiting on them. I don't know how long it takes for onions to grow up, and some people like say, well, Jamerica, it's not onion season. I told you guys I am on the cusp of 8B and 9A. I'm gonna do everything I can to make this joke come up, right? And I think they dry out too quick. It's not for a lack of trying, because I keep them on this table and in my sight for a reason, so that I don't forget to water them. And I still ain't got no germination on these jokers. And then those over there, well, those I can't say because the birds got to that. So I planted those 4-inch ones because they work. And I just go ahead and sometimes I don't even take the plant out of those pots. I take them out there, I harden them off because they're high enough where the birds and the bugs seem to leave them alone by the time I put them outside. And I just put them in the ground. I separate them, and y'all have seen me do it. If you haven't watched some of my videos, I take them directly out of the pot, separate them one by one, because by the time they come out of those pots, they are big enough to stand on their own in the yard. These little ones, you could do the same thing, but shoot, keeping them watered is an issue. It's an issue. And I know I watered it. And another thing is that, yeah, they damp. You don't want to overwater too. You got to find that balance. Apparently, I haven't found it with those cells. I'm just mad because my birds ate my stuff. I was so mad at that chick. Literally, chick. So, you said they'll live? Okay. Well, yeah. These will live, I know, but shoot. They got some of them was completely gone. You see where all this white stuff is? Yeah, I'll take y'all over here. They ate them down to nothing. I wanted to hurt those birds. I was going to make some, they were chicks, but they'll do as quail. I was so mad. I said, I've done all this stuff, and I started those, 2-3 weeks ago? And they came and ate them down. Now, I promise you all to show you the essential oil. Do y'all want to see the essential oils I use to keep the bugs away, or do you want me to just sit here? Because I'll sit here and talk. I just have to go like 10 feet away and go and get the bottles of stuff. David Corey said yes. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm back. All right. All of these are from the Amazing Store, right? And it doesn't matter what brand. Just make sure it says 100% pure and natural. You see that? That's tea tree oil. Essential oil is what it's supposed to say. And they cost about $10 a bottle. And this is, how many ounces? It's 4 fluid ounces. It's not a small teeny weeny bottle. If you go to the big box store and try to purchase, or to the supermarket or wherever, guess what? You're going to get maybe 1 ounce for $10. They're way cheaper. It's another brand. This is eucalyptus oil. I use this instead of, I use Vicks too, but if I feel bad during the, I use this. If I had any congestion, I use this. Eucalyptus, and y'all see it says essential oil. Now I'm gonna tell you what these two are for. This is how I keep the mosquitoes off of me. Lavender oil, plus it smells really good, right? Lavender essential oil, man, I've been using the heck out of this. I gotta buy some more. Let me see. Yeah, I'm almost down to half a bottle. Lavender essential oil. And then this is tea tree oil. Now, y'all gotta be careful with some of this stuff, because this is not, it doesn't have a carrier oil on it. A carrier oil is something that is gonna, it's gonna lessen the effects of it. Some of these oils, the essential oils, if you put them directly on your skin without a carrier oil, like castor oil or coconut oil, it'll burn your skin. However, with mosquitoes, to keep them jokers off of me, I use this. And I smell like lavender. That's what I smell like. And they don't come near me. And then if they do get me on the days that I forget to put that on, I put this. And say a mosquito bit me here. All I do is I take it straight. Same thing with the lavender. I put it on my skin and right on top of the bite. And about 5 minutes, and you can smell it because this is tea tree oil. And in about 5 minutes, all I see is a little itty bitty dot, maybe something like this. The swelling goes down, and then I just see a little bitty bite. It works. I'm not a doctor, just telling you what I do. So in order to go out in the garden and not be miserable, because if you're getting bit up by mosquitoes, you just ain't gonna go out there. Especially if it's been raining in your area and you got standing water, mosquitoes. Even here, where it doesn't rain a lot, we still got mosquitoes. I don't know how them jokers are staying alive. I'm in Central Texas. They're still here. So the days that I forget, man, they get me. They got me yesterday. But then I came inside and I put some of this on it because I don't want to look like what is it called? What is real spotty? A pin cushion. I don't want to look like that. I got enough bites on me. So this and my girlfriend said just go and get some vanilla extract. If you have a Costco membership, go ahead and get that big old bottle of vanilla extract for $10. If you don't, well, you're gonna pay for some vanilla extract. But Costco, if you got a friend who got a Costco or a Sam's Club membership, $10. $10. Then you go ahead and rub it on without breaking the bank. So being in the garden, the bugs not only attack the garden, but they attack you. So you have to do things to mitigate that. And one of the ways that I mitigate them eating all of my plants is starting them inside and putting them outside as big old seedlings. Just like the seedlings we get from the supermarket, you see how big they are, or from the big box store. Those plants are teenage plants. They're big plants. So when you put them out in the yard, first of all, they got a lot of fertilizer in them, and they're gonna do well because the company does not want you to buy their stuff and then it pass away because it looks bad on them. So they give it all kind of nice stuff to keep that thing going. So once you get that plant, you don't really have to fertilize because there's already fertilizer in that seedling. Growing them from home, you're gonna have to put some fertilizer out there, or you should put some fertilizer out there. And I use blood meal, bone meal, and organic fertilizer. Use what you want. You ain't got to use the organic stuff. You do what you want to do. It's your garden. That's what I do though. Shay Urban Edible said, yes, if a mosquito bites me, that ruins my garden time. Yep. Ready to go inside. That me too, because it's irritating. David Corey with the crop. Do you have any pineapples crowning? No, my pineapples, I didn't do any pineapples this year. Nope, I didn't do any pineapples this year. I did it last year. So we are done. Does anybody have any questions in reference to these? I don't think that black eyed peas put out a lot. That's why I planted a whole bunch of them. But don't do that with every seeds, because I just put about 6 or 7 champion collards in it. Remember that these seeds are small, but the plants are big. Example, mustard seeds are super small, and then they grow into gigantic plants. So if you never, this is a rookie mistake, and I did this myself, never plant the whole pack of seeds unless you got acres and acres of land. Let me see. David. Forget you, man. He's talking about me. He's talking about me looking at the screen like this. So anyway, I just wanted to show you how I plant my stuff, and that I have went through. I think I went through almost all of the plants that I need to plant, with the exception of the spinach. I'm gonna wait till the end of the month to plant the spinach because it is inside. I put that and my lavender. Yeah, my lavender seeds are also in the refrigerator because some seeds have to be stratified. And all stratifying means that it needs a cold spell prior to put it in the ground. So I put them in the refrigerator because some of them are like 2 weeks and some of them are a month. And it has to be consistent. So I just put them in a little bit of water in the refrigerator for a little while, for a month, so that when I put it in the ground, it has the cold spell, the consistent cold, or not freezing, not the freezer, the refrigerator, in a little bit of water. That's what stratifying is. You got to keep them damp and you got to keep them real cool, refrigerator cool, not freezer cool. Then you plant them. I know that some people are like, oh, she put them in the freezer. I didn't put them in the freezer. I put them in the refrigerator. I might have said freezer, but I meant refrigerated. You put them in the refrigerator for about a month. That's with a couple of things. And the strange thing about some of these seeds packets is that they don't tell you that it needs to be stratified. They don't tell you that it needs to have a cold spell. Spinach, I didn't know it. You know how I found that the spinach needed a cold spell and that lavender needed this cold spell? I went out there and cold sowed I threw them out there in the middle of the seeds out there in the middle in a cement tray in the middle of the winter. And then when spring came around, I was like, oh, what's that coming up? Is that, what did I think it was? I didn't think it was spinach. What did I think it was? I forget. I thought it was some other green, right? So, you know, I had my Google on my phone, right? And it was in a cement tray and it was lush. It was green and they were just growing, a whole bunch of them. And it had been months. I put it out there when it was cool, real cold. So when spring came around, they just started popping up. Man, I had to take my little Google camera and hold it down to Google, and Google was like spinach, Malbar. I was like, what? It grew. And that's how I found out that spinach needed to be stratified, by chance, because I was desperate. I said, I'm just going to throw in my hair and see if they'll grow. And sure enough, they did. Same thing with lavender. So there's some of the stuff some of the seeds. And as I said, these seed packets, some of them won't tell you, hey, you need to do this in order for it to germinate. They just let you figure it out yourself. They figure you know what you're doing. Anyway, this is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. If you all don't have any more questions in reference to the stuff that I'm growing, because most of it is brassicas with a couple of broccoli, cauliflower, and Romanesco. Everything else is, I see broccoli, Michihili, green mustard, Swiss chard, amazing, cauliflower, thyme didn't come up yet, oregano, basil. I didn't plant the basil though. Basil is going to save my stuff. I just planted the cowpeas because that's a quick crop. Remember, I'm in zone 8B, 9A, so I have thyme. Thyme is on my side still. I just planted some collards. I have some onions here. They have not come up yet, so I'm a little upset about that. I have Brussels sprouts, leeks, broccoli, Romanesco, sunball, cauliflower, Hilton cabbage, which has not come up. I had to replant that last night. Laciano kale, rutabagas, Swiss chard, mustards green, mustards red, celery did not come up. Cauliflower, amazing, cauliflower rober, they didn't come up. Bok choy, Sapporo giant. I got a couple of those, but they get real big. Purple, tree collards, and Swiss chard. Not everything is going to come up for you. Not everything is going to be all beautiful, because when I started my garden this year, y'all can see it look raggedy. Woo-hoo. And I just kept the faith. Nothing good comes overnight. Nothing good. Most good things don't come easy. You just have to wait on it. And growing stuff. Our Urban Gardening Chronicles, how you doing? Ramona Johnson, how you doing? Tracy, how you doing? H2O Savior, how you doing? So not everything in the garden is going to grow quickly. Just like children and people and animals and living things do not happen quickly. Now, there are some that's going to grow fast, but it's not going to be as fast as you want. Don't expect the seeds to come up overnight, although with peas, they come up quick. They do. Some things like peppers, and you can still plant peppers if you are in a zone like 8 on up. Still put some peppers in the ground. You can still get some peppers. I overwinter my peppers, but a couple of them are like 3 years old. Remember, tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, they are perennials. The only reason why those things go away most of the time is because we let them freeze or we don't water them. But peppers, you can have them for years. But some of my peppers that have been around for a long time look like they've been around for a couple of years. They look like, okay, I've been here. One of them, I think, is 3 years old. Bell pepper plant. And I have a habanero plant that is about 3 or 4 years old. They last for a long time. But sometimes you need some new blood. So I went out there and I tried that thing that God told me about, the the bell peppers and how you could grow them from the bell pepper. I think Sylvia's Garden Homestead, she also said that. True. The rumor is true. Go ahead. Anything you buy from that supermarket, go ahead and try and plant them seeds. You ain't always got to go to the box store and order your seeds. Sometimes papaya seeds, I done planted papaya seeds. I always say pomegranate, but it's papaya. Papaya seeds, I put them in a pot, and I had 1,000,000 of them. Some of them passed away because I didn't water them. That's what happened. But I have about 5 left. They grow. Those seeds from the supermarket grow. They sure do. So David's saying true. Lisa H. Town Gardener. David, you growing red raspberry. Give me some tips. David, go ahead and give her a tip. Riri's Garden. Hey, I'm working, but I'm listening. Thank you so much. So just go ahead and start getting your stuff in the ground. And if you do not have access to a seed store, because man, when I was in New York, they didn't sell seeds in my neighborhood. I lived basically in a food desert in New York, and they exist. Food desert exists. The only thing you'll have is some Chinese food restaurants, a little supermarket where everybody goes, and maybe a Burger King and McDonald's or a Church's Chicken. Food desert exists. That's why you need to have a garden. And then when you go to the store, my mama goes to the store now, them vegetables are expensive. Everything is expensive. So if you go to the supermarket and you buy a bell pepper, go ahead and scrape those seeds out. If you buy a tomato, go ahead and scrape those seeds out. Now with a bell pepper, it's going to be easier because those seeds are dry. You just take them, put them on a little plate. Let me show you. Put them on a little plate and let them dry out. That's how you do the bell peppers. Tomatoes, you go ahead and you scrape those little seeds out and you put them in a strainer and you keep on rubbing them, running the water over them until you get just the seed and all that little stuff comes off. Now, cucumbers, it's going to be a little hard with cucumbers unless they're overripe because the seeds are not mature. But with bell peppers and tomatoes, you get those. Jamerica, you know about raspberry? No, my raspberries, man, I keep on messing with them raspberries. Up north, I didn't have no problem, but down here, I'm having problems with the raspberries. Blackberries, I have them in containers, by the way. I ain't put them in the ground. Not in this soil. Unless you have a lot of land because they run. Oh yeah, my blackberries are jumping. They'll come out of the pot on you. Let's see. CTV Valley Girl Garden, how you doing? She's saying hello from Connecticut. Lisa H. Town Gardener, I have large buckets for them. I have the roots in water hydrating. She must be talking about her runners. Mona Johnson's, yes, it's what I do to harvest seeds. Yeah. If you buy tomatoes, cucumbers, the cucumbers that we get in the supermarket are not mature seeds. You have to have mature seeds in order for them to grow. If you get cucumbers, cucumbers are not old enough to have seeds. If you get okra, and that okra is woody, go ahead and dry that joker out. Okra gets woody quick, by the way. You're probably not going to see much of that in the supermarket. But the supermarket seeds, if they're mature, they work. If you get a little taro, or some people call them edos, you take that taro root, put it in a pot, and that taro root will develop like 5 more taro for you. You grow that on your own too. There's a lot of things that they sell in the supermarket that will produce. If you do not have access to Wally World or something that has seeds, or you don't have the money to go online and purchase it. Some people don't like buying stuff online. Go to your supermarket and start drying your stuff out. And then plant it. Because bell peppers and peppers in general will last you for years. And all of mine are potted. All of them except the ones that I know ain't gonna, the ones that I'm not gonna overwinter. Overwinter means you take them, you put them in a pot, or you keep them in a pot, and you put them somewhere warm. Some people cut off all of the extra branches and leaves and just leave a few leaves over the winter time. That's all it means, overwinter. Keep it over the winter. David Corey copy. Jamerica, next we see you, you better have them glasses. Oh, be quiet, you. Tracy, thank you for giving me the courage to get more chickens. The 3 I have are truly benefiting from my garden cleaning. Yes. So I had someone ask me about how I feed my chickens. The garden. You got a garden, you don't throw that stuff out. As a matter of fact, you don't throw nothing out. If you eat all your food at night and your kids and eat all your food, do not put it in the garbage can and give it to the garbage man. Feed it to your chickens. Feed all that stuff to your chickens. All of your leftovers, everything you waste, all of your garden stuff, they'll pick over it. They'll eat the stuff that they want, leave the rest. I even thought about, and we're going off topic, I'm sorry. Because I have a garden, that's what I use, right? But sometimes I don't have any garden stuff. And I even thought about going to a local diner in this town or this area and asking one of the workers, hey, if they like these Mexican food, because we got a lot of Mexican food around here. People be leaving stuff on their plate at them restaurants. And don't think that you can't say, hey, if you put it in a thing for me, I'll give you $20. No, I ain't gonna give you $20. Can you set some of that stuff aside instead of throwing it in the dumpster? Can you put it in a little bucket for me, and I'll come pick it up? There are farmers doing that, and they're feeding their livestock with stuff from these diners and from these restaurants. And we go ahead and we spend all this money on feed. When we got a garden and we got chickens and we got this and we got that. And you can use chickens to feed the garden, and you use the garden to feed the chickens. And if you don't have that, you go to one of them local businesses they're throwing that stuff in the trash. I know, because I eat there's a particular Mexican food restaurant that I like. And I know I don't eat all my food. And sometimes they be like, do you want to? It's not enough on the plate sometimes for me to box it. But I left some rice, some beans, a piece of, they're in there fighting, a piece of fajita. And I didn't eat it, and they just gonna throw it in the trash. I need the slop. What they used to call it is a slop bucket. And chickens is not just for pigs. It's for anything, any scavenger animal. And chickens are scavengers. They'll eat it. They'll eat almost anything. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. That's for those of us who have a bunch of chickens, and the bag of feed is running about $17.99 right now. Imagine not having to do that. That's why a lot of people are starting to let their chickens free range, because chickens, they'll eat bugs, and if they're free range, and they don't have to feed them as much, because the chickens are not hungry. Because chickens, that's why my little, you see what it did to my seedlings. So anyway. That's why people free range, because the chickens go out there and they eat up all the bugs and they eat up all the plants and all the weeds. Unfortunately, my plants. Let me see. Urban Gardening Chronicles. My hens planted at least 5 plants this season, and the run of manure is fertile. Yep. You can use your chicken manure and your chicken run to fertilize your plants. It's called hot compost, though. You gotta be careful. They say it burns stuff, but I put it around my trees and they're fine. Tracy, my neighbors bring their scraps and I put it in the freezer for especially hot days. CT Valley Girl Gardener, how do you care for overwintered pepper plants? Some people chop them down and leave just a few leaves on the pepper plant and put it in a pot. And they put it in there, like right here where the window is, with a picture, with a sliding glass door, or in the windowsill. And all you do is you try to keep them alive. That's all you're doing in the wintertime. Keep watering them and try to keep them green. You may not have any, all the leaves might fall off, but as long as that stem is still green, that plant is still alive. And then in springtime, when it warms back up, you put that joker right back out and it'll start to develop in leaves again. Now I have a greenhouse, a little cheap greenhouse I got from Walmart, but it's the same theory. It's getting filtered light. It's completely covered by trees and I'm getting much light. And all I do is I take all the pots that I have lined in the garden, I put them in that greenhouse, and I make sure they stay warm and they stay watered. Sometimes they do so well that they produce bell peppers and hot peppers in the middle of winter. Just depends. I've heard some people say that they put it in their garage, but unless you have some light in there, I don't know. I've never done it, so I'm not gonna say that. But I put mine with filtered light, not outside, but near a windowsill or near the sliding glass door in the back patio. Put them right there, or that was before I got the greenhouse. I put them right there so they get some sunlight, and I make sure they're watered. That's it. David Corey said you need light. That's what I was thinking, but people have lights in their garage, so I guess that's what they do. They have some shop lights or something in there. So overwintering is not hard. And if the plant passes away, well then, go to the supermarket, get some seeds, and plant some more. Anyway, this is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. I just wanted to talk to you guys, and I want you to plant with me today because I haven't done this in a little while. Planting is always fun, but harvesting is even better. Remember to harvest, because some people just plant their stuff and just leave it out there and never go and get it. I go and get my stuff, even if I give it to the chickens. This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. I thank everybody for being with me, and I'll see you on the next one, all right? Keep planting. It's fall, but it's not over. Bye, y'all.